Hello everyone and welcome. This is week 3 of our core strengthening series from Resilient Motherhood. I'm Dr. Gretchen Price and I'll be guiding you through today's class. Now, week 3 here, we are going to be building on what we learned in week 2. So we're going to be progressing the exercises somewhat. Not all of the exercises are going to be progressed today, but most of them will be. We are going to start to just up them a little bit, but if you feel like you need to stay at level 1 type exercises or last week's exercises, feel free to do so. You know, I'll always be giving modifications or advanced options for those that need them. So with that being said, let's get started in child's pose. So we are going to really start to just connect with our breath a little bit more, and then we'll move into the exercises. So let's go. You're going to get on your hands and knees. Knees are going to be wide. You're going to spread your knees a little bit and then drop your head down. And you're just going to breathe here. Just going to take an inhale and an exhale. Really feeling your ribs, belly expand when you inhale. When you exhale, belly and ribs shrink back down. Do that again. Inhale. Feel that pelvic floor dropping down. Exhale. Feel it gently lifting up. 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Perfect. Slowly make your way up to sitting. And then I'll have you make your way to your backs for the first exercise. So you're going to lay flat. And what you're going to do is this is going to build on that heel slide. So I kind of gave this modification or advanced technique last week, but this is the week that we're really going to try it, okay? So you're going to inhale, exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift. Again, if you don't feel that pelvic floor lift, add that extra, stopping your flow of pee. And then you're going to elevate your foot. So instead of sliding your leg on the ground, you're going to hover that foot, straighten it, and then bring it back. So you're going to inhale, exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift, hover the foot, straighten the leg, bring it back to the starting position. We'll try the other side. Inhale, exhale, hover the foot, straighten the leg, bring it back. Now, for those of you, if that's way too challenging and you're noticing a lot of shifting in your hips when you lift that leg up and straighten it, or if you feel like your back is arching, then I encourage you just to stick with the heel side until you can progress to lifting the foot slightly and straightening the leg. So go ahead and pause the video here. Try that for 5 to 10 repetitions on each side, depending on how it feels. You can even start with this advanced part of the exercise first, so lifting the heel and then sliding the leg. And then once you start feeling maybe a little fatigue with that, you can go back to the heel sides to finish out your repetitions. All right, so let's get into the next exercise. Again, you're going to be laying on your back. So this is a progression of that bent knee fallout movement, okay? So one leg is going to be up in a 90-90 position. So when I say that, that means I don't want your knee in towards your chest. I want your knee directly over your hip, okay? And then that other leg's going to be where we just had it. So you're going to inhale, exhale, and drop your knee out to the side. and then bring it in. We'll do that again. Inhale. Exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift. If you don't feel that lift, then add that extra, stopping your flow of pee. Bring it in. Let's do the other side. And that one leg is up, 90-90 position. That other knee is bent, if you can see. You're going to inhale. Exhale. Drop that knee out to the side and bring it in. Again, you want to make sure that that pelvis is level. So you don't want your hips rolling back and forth. If this is too much, you can just maybe just put your toes down of the opposite foot so it's a little less supporting you as another option, or just go back to the regular movement that we were doing before. Again, pause the video, practice 5 to 10 reps on each side. Same thing with this exercise and all the exercise we do today. If the progression is a little more difficult, but you can get maybe 1 or 2 repetitions in with the more advanced exercise, try a few of those repetitions, and then you can go back to the exercise that we did last week that kind of lines up with the, or it's a modification of it. Okay. All right, let's do, the next one is going to be a movement called up, up, down, down. So we are going to do kind of like marches. So this movement is going to be like this. Okay. So you're going to inhale, exhale, feel that lift in the pelvic floor, lift one leg up, really think about that lift in the pelvic floor, lift the other leg up, lower one leg down, lower the other leg down. So for this one, this first lift might feel pretty easy. It's usually that second lift that you start noticing that pelvis rolling around or shifting a little bit. So I encourage you to really kind of think, and you can even take an extra breath with that second lift of the leg. So that would look like this. Inhale, exhale, feel that lift in the pelvic floor. Inhale, exhale, feel that lift in the pelvic floor and raise the other leg. If you feel like you need that extra exhale to help engage that pelvic floor a little bit more. And then you would lower them back down with that control of maintaining that pelvic floor lift. Okay, so we'll try that again. Inhale, exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift. Lift one, lift the other one, still with that pelvic floor lifted. Lower one down, lower the other one down. Good. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, exhale, feeling that pelvic floor lift. Lift one, lift the other one, lower one down, lower the other one down. Again, what you can do with this is just maybe lift one up, lift one down, or switch. Lift the other one up, lift the other one down. So just doing a single leg march is just a modification of this one that you can do that will help your maintain that pelvic floor contraction or stability a little bit better. So for this one, I encourage you again to do 5 to 10 reps on each side. Typically maybe more around the 5 reps so that you can start with lifting one leg first and then switch over, do 5 reps on the other side, and then you have 10 reps altogether. Lifting one of the legs first and then the other side. All right, let's do a straight leg raise next. Right. So you're gonna lay flat. One leg is gonna be straight, one leg is gonna be bent. You're gonna inhale, exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift. You're gonna lift your leg up to the height of the other one, and then you're gonna lower it down slowly. Okay, that slow motion is really going to help you concentrate on keeping that pelvic floor lifted, that deeper core engaged. All right, So I'll show you from a little bit more of an angle so you can see. You're going to inhale, exhale, lift up, and then lower down. Again, you don't want any shifting of the hips. You don't want to tuck your pelvis when you're lifting up the leg. You're just going to have a nice lift and then lower. Okay, lift and then lower. Really concentrating on that. You might feel this in the front of the thighs a little bit, in the hip flexors, and that's okay, just as long as you can still maintain that pelvic floor contraction with this motion. Okay, to make it harder, you just go a lot slower, because then that's going to challenge the pelvic floor and the core to remain stable and hold everything for a longer period of time. So pause the video here, and do 5 to 10 reps on each side of those. See how they feel. Again, if it's too hard, maybe just lift the leg a little bit and then lower it back down, or you can always just stick with the marches that we did last time too. Okay, so last exercise, laying on your back. We're gonna do those bridges, but we're gonna add to them. So the bridges, as a reminder, was just lifting the butt up and lowering the butt down. Now with this is, we're gonna kind of progress this a couple different ways depending on how things feel. So you're gonna inhale, exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift the butt up, and then if you want to just shift to one side slightly, just to get more of your weight in there, so, and then shift back to the center, go ahead and do so, because eventually we're going to be marching one leg up and then lowering the leg down. So let's just try the weight shifting first, and then we can add the march in if you feel like you need to or can. So you're going to inhale, exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift. If you don't, add that extra Kegel, hold, make sure you still have that lift, shift to the one side so you feel more weight in the one side, shift back to the center, and then lower down. And then we'll shift to the other side. So inhale, exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift up, shift to one side, shift back to the center, and then lower down. Now, for those of you that feel really confident with that weight shifting from side to side in the bridge, now let's add a little march, okay? So you're going to inhale, exhale, lift the butt up. You're going to shift, and then you're just going to march one leg up, and then you're going to lower it down, okay? And then you can lower down the bridge and reset. So again, with that, I'll show you on the other side. You're going to inhale, exhale, feel that lift up. You're going to have to add that little shift, lift the leg up, and then lower it down. Again, you don't want to see any dropping of the hip. So when you lift that leg up, you don't want your hip dropping down. You want to keep both hip bones facing the ceiling and both hip bones level. So one hip should not be higher than the other hip when you lift your leg up. If that's the case, you can always just do a heel lift. So I'll show you that next. You'll inhale, exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift up, and then you're just going to go up onto your tippy toes. Lower down. You can even switch with this one. Lower down, lower everything down. So really, you're just lifting up onto your toes, and then lower down. Eventually, then you'll make your way to the march. Really concentrating on making sure, even when you lift your toes, that both hips are level with that. You're maintaining that pelvic floor contraction. Good. So again, practice that. 5 to 10 reps on each side. Same thing with all the other exercises. If you feel like maybe you can do 1 or 2 repetitions of this new movement without compensating your form and then you notice, okay, this is getting tiring, I'm going to go back to the other bridges, you can go ahead and do so and just do finish out your reps for the regular bridges. All right, so let's get on all fours. So this is the next one that we're going to do. Now, on all fours today, we are going to just be practicing on really just accepting the weight into the arm or leg that's on the ground. So we're not going to be really progressing this unless you feel very, very confident with the arm lift separately and the leg lift separately. So let me show you here on all fours. So we'll do the arm lift first. So you're going to inhale, exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift. If you don't add that extra, stopping your flow of pee, that extra Kegel contraction, you're going to lift the arm and then you're going to lower down. So with that, I really want you to think again about that circle on the ground or that spot on the ground. And when you start to transfer more of your weight to the other hand, I want you to think about your stomach still being right over top of that spot on the ground. So I'm not necessarily shifting everything so my whole body shifts just to get my arm up there. I'm only putting more pressure in the arms, that other arm and leg. Let's do it on the other side. So you're going to inhale, exhale, again accepting weight into that other arm and legs. You'll lift the arm and lower back down. Again, inhale, exhale, feel that lift in the pelvic floor, lift the arm, lower back down. Again, not shifting around, you're not shifting back, you're not shifting forward, you're not shifting to the side. Let's do a leg lift with this then. So you're going to inhale, exhale, lift the leg back, and then lower down. Again, if you were here last week with just sliding, totally fine. Continue to work on that sliding so you can work on that shift a little bit better. So I'm really thinking about when you lift that leg, and this is probably the one that you'll feel more of that shifting with, is when you're practicing the leg lift. Really making sure that you're maintaining, putting equal pressure in both arms and that opposite leg as you slide that leg back. Thinking about that center or that spot being right underneath of you, and your weight is not moving from there, and then coming back in. We'll do the other side. Inhale, exhale, feel that lift in the pelvic floor, and then lift that leg back and then lower down. Again, I would rather you lift it low than lift your leg high, just because I want to make sure that you're not using your back when you're lifting. So I don't want to see any arching the back. You want to think about a tissue box being on your back, and when you lift and lower the leg or the arm, that tissue box is not moving around, okay? It's not falling off your back. If it is, that means you're shifting your hips a little bit too much. So that could be just something that you practice if you do put a tissue box on your back, if you're wondering if you are shifting too much, okay? So practice those separately. Practice the arm lift separately. Practice the leg lift separately. If you want to progress to lifting both at the same time, you can, but I really encourage you just to stick with practicing on accepting the weight on when you're lifting the single arm and when you're lifting a single leg separately, because that's going to be really important for whenever you do go ahead and start to lift arm and the leg together, opposite arm, opposite leg together. So practice 5 to 10 reps on each side with the upper extremity, so the arms, and both the lower extremity, the legs, and that will be for on all fours position for this week. All right, let's move on to that half kneeling position. So again, half kneeling, one leg is in front, one leg is behind. We're still gonna stick with that twist, okay? Because half kneeling position, number one, when you're just in this position, you're really working on your balance already. You're really working on that core stability just by being in this position. So these are a little bit more of those advanced type exercises. All right. So, and another tip, if you need more support, you can always tuck your back toes just for added support, or have them flat if that feels better too. All right. So you're going to inhale, again, crossing your hands here. This is going to be more of a challenge, making sure that you're not arching your back to get your arms up. Okay. So I'm still going to cross them here. You're going to inhale, exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift, and twist as you exhale. And then inhale, come back to the center. So inhale, exhale, good. We'll try it on the other side. Again, surface makes a difference. So I'm on carpet right now on this small rug right here, and that can put you off balance a lot more than just being on hardwood floor, or even like on hardwood floor on your yoga mat. So just take note of that too, if you notice like different surfaces make you feel more balanced or not. So you'll inhale, exhale, feel that lift in the pelvic floor and twist. Inhale, come back to the center. Again, inhale, exhale, inhale, come back to the center. Good. So go ahead and practice that one again for this week. Really focusing on that twist with that pelvic floor lift. All right. Next one in the half kneeling position. We did this one last week as well, but now we're going to add with the eyes closed. So this one is that arm lift, okay? So again, in that half kneeling position, you're going to inhale. And this time, eyes are going to be closed. I'm already feeling off balance because I'm on this carpet. So I'm going to just tuck my back toe a little bit, widen my base of support a little bit, meaning like move my leg out just so I have a little bit wider of a surface I'm working with. You're going to inhale, exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift, raise the arm up, and then lower down. Good. We'll do that again. Inhale, exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift, raise the arm, and lower down. Again, I don't want, when you raise your arm, I don't want your back arching. So if you feel like your upper back is arching just to get your arm up there, don't allow it to do that. Only raise the arm to where you can lift it without your back moving. Okay, keep your back nice and straight. Let's try the other side. So eyes closed, making sure you're first pretty stable. You're going to inhale, exhale, lift the arm, lower down, inhale, exhale, lift the arm, almost fell, lower down. Good. So again, you can see how challenging that is just by closing our eyes. So again, I encourage you to just pause the video here, practice that 5 to 10 reps on each side. If you're feeling pretty advanced, even with your eyes closed, you can go ahead and try lifting both arms and then lowering both arms back down. All right, so last thing is the standing. All right, so standing here again, we just worked on that weight shifting in the last class. So you're going to inhale. We'll just go back to that. Inhale. Feel that pelvic floor relaxing. Exhale. Feel that pelvic floor lifting up, and feeling that pelvic floor lift and shifting to the side. So you'll exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift and shift to one side, and then shift back to the center. Relax. Okay. So that was last week. You can always stick with that if that's something that you still want to work on or you're having difficulty with. If you're feeling pretty strong this week, we can try lifting that opposite leg. So starting to stand on one leg. So you're going to inhale, exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift, and then you're just going to lift one leg up and then lower down and relax. Okay, we'll try from the other side. Inhale, exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift, lift your leg up, lower it down, and relax. All right. Show you from the side. You're going to inhale, exhale, feel that pelvic floor lift. I'm shifting to the side, lifting that leg up. You can also lift it up here if you want to, or you can lift it down. Shift back, set it down. Okay. So again, 5 to 10 reps of that one on each side. Again, you can just go back to that weight shifting. If lifting that leg, you feel really unbalanced or you just don't even feel any of that pelvic floor lifting up or staying lifted, then you can just go back to that weight shifting back and forth. But I encourage you just to try at least 1 rep of lifting the leg, even if it's just hovering it off the ground just a little bit, and then coming back, relaxing. See if you actually have held it, and you can feel that relax after you've come back to the center on both feet. All right. So next one that we're going to do standing is going to be that weight shift with the eyes closed. Okay. So you're going to inhale, exhale, close your eyes, and then shift your weight to one side. Shift it back to the center. Again, we're just challenging your stability of your core here. So your core has to work harder. Now that your eyes are closed, we can't fixate on any kind of object to make us more steady. We have to rely on what our muscles are doing in order to stay upright, stay standing without falling over. So you're going to inhale, exhale, feel that lift in the pelvic floor, shift to one side. Again, not lifting the leg, we're just shifting over for this one because our eyes are closed. Shift back to the center, relax, inhale, stay relaxed, exhale, feel that lift in the pelvic floor, shift to the other side, back to the center, and then relax. You can open up your eyes. Again, practicing that 5 to 10 times on each side. Surface for this also matters. So you might notice on a hardwood surface or just a harder surface, you're more steady. And on a carpet or something softer, even your yoga mat can mess up your balance a little bit depending on how soft or how thick the mat is. So if you're noticing a lot of trouble, maybe get onto a harder surface and see if it's a little bit easier that way. I would also, if you're feeling very, very off balance, I would also just have like a countertop or just something nearby when you're doing it with your eyes closed, just to make sure that you have things around you to maybe tap or hold on to if you need to. All right, just for safety precautions for that. All right, so that's the class today. Again, 5 to 10 reps of all the exercises on each side. You can start out with the harder exercises we did for some of them today, and then once that feels like you're losing your form, you can go back to those exercises from last week and finish out your reps with those. Or if these exercises are way too hard and you just can't even get the form down or feel that pelvic floor lift with even 1 repetition, then you can always stay at that level 1 core exercises that we did. These exercises are made to just gradually progress. So you might not notice progression in every single exercise every single week. And that's the beauty of having these videos, having these classes, is that we can really go at an individual pace. So I encourage you to just try, but if not, go back to those exercises we did last week. Okay, well, again, I enjoyed guiding you through today's class today. I hope that you enjoyed these exercises, and I will see you next week.